What's up, everybody? My name is Steven. I am the founder of EngageFamilyGaming.com, and I am joined once again by my good buddy Jeff from the Frozen North. It is so we missed last week, everybody, and it really just came down to sometimes when you film live, when your kids are a hot mess, it just doesn't work. So we missed last week. It is Thursday, and we are here to talk family video games. Bunch of stuff happened, but probably most important is we have officially launched the March MadSNES tournament. Jeff, you have been working on this for months, and you know how gray I am right now. My beard is so gray that my green screen is trying, or my whatever, it doesn't know that it's my face, so it's trying to make the little apartment behind me it's trying to make it go, like just pop through my face. So if you think I'm not losing my face, everybody, it's just technology. My set behind me is not perfectly set up yet, so we're still getting there. Um, I mean, listen, I don't. Listen, I would need like a gallon. I would need like a gallon of it. So it is. So it's March MadSNES time. Last March we did March Madness. You put a whole bunch of work into that, and it was wildly successful. Lots of people really liked it. The big difference is we did all the polls on Facebook. Facebook doesn't allow polls anymore, so we have moved it over to Twitter. So if you go to twitter.com/EFGaming, that's our official Twitter account, you will find the first two polls. We're going to do two polls a day. I might move it up to three if we really want to move things faster. But we are doing at least two polls a day, and we're going to help choose the best SNES game. And it is already heating up. We got Chad Michael Innes from the we have Chad Michael Innes from the Respawn Aim Fire podcast is campaigning against The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Um, he does not like that. He does not like A Link to the Past. So he is trying to get people out of there. We're getting some fun retweets. Our boy from ESPN who was here a couple of weeks ago, giving us some of the facts, retweeted us at a one of the ESPN hosts who hopefully retweets some of this out because they have quite a few followers. Wouldn't that be cool? So anyway, we're going to talk about that towards the end. We do have some news to go through, and so we also have there's a lot to catch up on because you've got some collector's stuff, and so with K's. I mean, you gotta we literally stole it from them. Like I fought Scorpion and took the caves. Oh wait, you can't hear Jeff? Uh-oh. Hold on, Jeff, talk. All right, hold on. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Jeff, talk again.
Hello?
Yo, I muted the crap out of you, Jeff. My bad. So, the good news is the good news, Mega Mom, is I did most of the talking. So Jeff
The bad
is.
news is I had some killer jokes in
I know
there
he did.
too.
He did. They were great.
I said even needed just for men. I had my K's.
I know. So we got a lot of stuff today. So why don't we start with Jeff's collector's corner because we know you like buying stuff to put on your shelves.
I
So,
do.
oh, he's a little quiet. Let me turn him up. Here we go. And so Jeff, why don't you take it away while I do some social media and show people the cool new stuff you got?
Yeah, so as you know, the first one I usually show every 2 months when it comes in, but I got the new issue of Nintendo Force magazine, issue number 51, which means that the cover story is about No More Heroes 3, and the main article inside is all about the killer career of Suda 51,
Who is a very weird dude.
who's a very weird dude, and it comes with a double-sided poster as it always does. I'm gonna try to do this best I can. One side has
Monster Hunter.
Hunter Rise
I
on
like
it.
that. Yo,
Which
Monster Hunter Rise. Can we talk for a moment about
yeah,
Monster Hunter Rise?
I haven't played the demo because Monster Hunter's a game I like, but have never really tried to get into.
So, Monster Hunter Rise is going to sell so much. Oh my goodness, my camera just went absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, we lost you.
You lost
I mean,
me?
we can hear you, but we can't see you.
What? All right, hold on.
But yeah, Monster Hunter Rise here. I'll just keep talking while you figure this out. And the other side is Bowser's Fury poster.
That's a good looking poster.
It is. It's a pretty cool poster. I'm running out of room on my walls for my posters, so I need to go through and decide if I want to take some up. But I'd really recommend getting this. It's very inexpensive. I mean, it's $5 per magazine. They come out, there's 6 a year, so you're spending $30 on it, but with cool poster, 80 plus pages. It's one of the few magazines I read, like probably about 90% of it. It's just so interesting to read. But here's the cool thing I got in this week, or actually just today. It came in today.
Yeah.
So there is a new physical collection company called Premium Edition Games, and so they had pre-orders in August and other pre-orders in November, and they had a little issues with getting the discs out, getting the Switch cartridges out. So you actually got their first 2 games at the same time. I'm going to show off one of them because the one I am not showing off is Super Blood Hockey, a hard-rated M game.
Yeah, that's not appropriate for the kids.
No, but the one I am going to show off that they did is called Pigeon Dev Collection. So Pigeon Dev is the company. It took 4 of their games. And so you get this nice little sleeve. And then inside the sleeve, they have like an old school NES cartridge holder.
We're on.
What?
We're on.
What?
Okay.
So.
Oh wait, it's even got like the dust sleeve, like it was an
yeah,
NES
the
game.
dust sleeve. That's what I mean. The dust sleeve. And then you pull it out, and this is what I think is really cool. So, I don't know about you guys, but when I buy my physical Switch games, I'm really sad when there's not inside cover art. So every one of them has inside cover art. Like, they put a lot of work into this. And then the coolest part, every game's going to have an instruction booklet.
Oh, wow. That's old school.
And look, there's even more than just one pages. Like, I ended up getting Vitamin Connection from Limited Run Games, and their instruction booklet is 2 pages, but this is a full-on book. And then the coolest thing is, each game is going to have a challenge card, and if you complete the challenge, you tweet at Premium Edition, and you have to show them a picture of the box, this card, and the image of you beating the challenge, and they will send you like a patch to go with the game.
Okay.
So, like, for example, this one right here says beat the final level of any of the 4 games in the set. I will say Super Blood Hockey, I actually was playing that before I got in. I actually beat the challenge, and I tweeted at them.
Okay.
Super Blood Hockey's challenge was to fatally injure someone.
Oh, boy. All right, well.
In franchise mode. So I did that, and I tweeted at them, and I emailed them, and then I'll give them my address when they ask for it, and I will be getting a Super Blood Hockey patch, and I'm hoping to try to get, and those aren't for everyone. Like, once they're out of the patches, they're out of the patches.
All right, so is there a challenge that we need to do today? I think you said that you had a challenge you had to do, right? Or did you just have to unbox it on YouTube?
No, I just had to unbox it. And then they will be sending me a premium edition patch.
Well,
so I share this out, and I will
thank you everyone
show
for
you the patch when it comes.
Thank you for participating in helping Jeff get a patch. He asked me before the show if it would be okay if he tweeted the show at a game company, and I was like, first off, yes. But second of all, wouldn't that be kind of a jerk move if I was like, nah, you can't publicize our YouTube video. You simply may not publicize our YouTube video to get free stuff.
I mean, we could get on there. I could be our representative to be on their press list.
I mean, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Well, let's see what they say, because we are big time YouTubers now. Okay, so that is Jeff's Collector's Corner, an
With a K.
irregular feature with a K, obviously, because we stole
Yeah.
it from
Whenever I
Mortal
get cool
Kombat.
stuff, that's not just games.
Exactly. Well, because you have games coming in constantly.
I have games coming.
Listen, I may occasionally have Steve Collector's Corner stuff. Um, the only thing I got that came in this interesting this week is I got a cool new yo-yo because I'm back, baby. Um, I used to yo-yo at a retail store selling yo-yos when I was in college. That was like my thing.
Ooh. That was before the gray beard.
That was well before the gray beard. That was like 120 something pounds and no beard because you couldn't have facial hair because remember it was retail. Okay, so Jeff, you wear many hats here at Engage Family Gaming. I would say the biggest of which is a job you took upon yourself. You scour the internet for the family-friendly video games and their release dates, and then every Sunday you publish a list on the Engaged Family Gaming Facebook page, and then we turn that into a blog post on the EngageFamilyGaming.com blog. So Jeff, tell me what video games came out this week.
So, starting on Tuesday, March 16th, we have Later Alligator for Switch, Monster Truck Championship on PlayStation 5 and Series X, RBI Baseball 21 on PS4, Xbox One, Series X, and Switch. I was really surprised. I checked and double checked. For some reason, this game is not coming to PS5.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you could probably play it on PS5, but there's not going to be a PS5 edition.
Okay.
I just thought that was interesting. It came to everything but it. And then also on Tuesday, we have Saviors of Sapphire, Wings, and Stranger of Sword City Revisited on Switch. Then on Wednesday, March 17th, we have Beach Buggy Racing 2 Island Adventure on Xbox One and Switch. Dungeon Defenders Awakened on Xbox One and Series X.
Did you ever play the Dungeon Defenders series, Jeff?
I have not. I've heard of it, though.
It's like a third person action tower defense game. So like, creeps come in from various places and you play like an action role playing game character, like a wizard or a knight or whatever, and have to fight them off. And it is super frantic. I actually really appreciated it. I haven't played the new one, but I played the first one a whole bunch when it was on Steam. Very cartoony. So I think this is one that people should keep their eyes on because it's a cool co-op game.
Awesome. I'm not a huge fan of tower defense games, so I'll probably pass. I don't know. I can never get into them. So, but also
okay,
coming out,
that's fair.
Yeah, also coming out on Wednesday, we have In Rays of the Light on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Switch. And then Under Depths of Fear on Switch. On Thursday, March 18th, we had Dark Complete Edition on Switch, Explosionade DX on Xbox One and Switch, okay, I'm going to try this. Fantasy Tavern Sextet Volume 3 Postlude Days on Switch.
Okay.
Gunskaters on Switch, Magic Twins on Switch, Marvel's Avengers on PS5 and Series X, Osaberry, Puzzle Chigaton, Spot the Difference with Everyone on Switch, Raiders of the Lost Island on Switch, Signs of the Sojourner on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, Space Otter Charlie on Switch, Synergia on Switch, Uchu Shinshuchu on Switch, Unblocked Brick on Switch. On Friday, March 19th, we had Can't Drive This on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Switch, Cargo Crew Driver on Switch, Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville Complete Edition on Switch, Sumatra Fate of Yandy on Switch. Then on Saturday, March 20th, we have Olympic Boxing on Switch.
Okay. Plants vs. Zombies, I am stunned that it took this long for that game to get out of the Switch.
Yeah, especially, I just don't think EA's playing it right how they're putting things on Switch.
Oh well, they're being terrible about it.
Yeah.
There's really no other way around it. They're being terrible about it. We got Jevador in the chat. Happy Thursday, EFG. Yes, happy Thursday. Happy Falcon and the Winter Soldier Eve, everybody.
Yeah.
Remember, that is tomorrow morning. Not family gaming, but, whatever. It's Disney, so it's family adjacent. Buddy cop movie. Can't wait. Yeah, tomorrow is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Honestly, Mega Mom, I know you say you forgot. I kind of wish I forgot because that means it'd be like a cool surprise. Like, I have been waiting to renew my wake up early on Friday morning and watch the show from WandaVision. I had like a week off and it just felt weird. So now I get it back. So happy Falcon and Winter Soldier Eve.
And then I believe next week, another great show coming to Disney Plus, because we're all old, is the Mighty Ducks reboot.
Yes.
So that's going to be 2 great shows to watch coming to Disney Plus every Friday for at least the next 6 weeks.
Let me tell you, I am equally hyped for the new Mighty Ducks TV show as I am for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, there is literally zero chance that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is anything other than a disappointment for me, but it's only because the Vision is my favorite superhero of all time, and that was just a great Vision show. But so even if this is like A+ content, it's never going to be the same. However, Mighty Ducks, I mean, quack, 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 flying V, the whole deal. I can't wait. Cannot wait. And one of the guys from Letterkenny is on that show. So I'm pretty excited. Go figure, it's a hockey thing. But all right.
And I was gonna say, and one of the Gilmore Girls.
And wasn't it the mom from Gilmore Girls?
Yes, that was a joke. Yes.
Yeah, and again, this is and Emilio Estevez, obviously.
So I will say, nothing against the Gilmore Girls. She is a great actress, and actually really like her in everything she does.
Yeah, no, absolutely, she's great. So, okay, so let's get to the news because I mean, people are here to talk about March MadSNES. Let's be honest. My son Jake, Waffle Chicken, in here speaking blasphemy. The Mighty Ducks is a show about hockey.
Make him watch the movie this weekend.
Yeah, you can watch the movie. It's about hockey. It's a very good movie. Man, he's just speaking blasphemy in my house. How dare you? In my house. All right, anyway. So, quick news stuff. So, first off, you talked about Avengers coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X today. No, is it? Yeah, and Xbox Series X, new enhancements. They announced, finally, that the next expansion is going to be Black Panther.
Yes, so and Hawkeye was released today, right?
Hawkeye is out today. So now with Avengers, you get 2 packs. There's the Kate Bishop DLC. Now's the Hawkeye DLC. That's out today, plus the PS5 upgrade. And then later on this year is the War for Wakanda, which is going to include Black Panther. It looks awesome. A bunch of new environments, new bosses, etc. So that is pretty cool. This is one of those games that I think like a year and a half from now, assuming they don't give up on it, is going to be a completely different video game. So we'll be revisiting it.
That was going to be my question. Do you think it can have like a No Man's Sky revitalization?
Yeah. Yes. You know why? Because it's Avengers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as far as the popularity thing, if they repackage it and they sell, like, they don't even have to repackage it. They can just keep selling it. The reality is this is one of those games that as long as they keep putting out DLC and putting out new heroes, it's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, and that's kind of thing I was going with, because I will say that when it first came out, I never lost interest so fast in the game. Like, I haven't, not by playing it, but just by everything before it. I was so excited when it was announced, then a trailer was shown, and I'm like, it's okay. Then more stuff was shown, I'm like, pre-order.
That's fine. I think this is one of those games that we're absolutely going to have a rebirth, and I think it really depends on how much, because they're adding new story content every time.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
so,
and that's the thing. I want to play this game eventually.
yeah, well, guess what? You're eventually going to be able to. And I would bet that you. This is one of those games like No Man's Sky. All these new DLCs and updates you've been able to get for free. And so I own No Man's Sky on PlayStation, and I bought it for $9, and they keep updating it. So for $9, I got this amazing video game. This is a loss leader for Square Enix, no doubt. Like it's not making money, but the reality is all they need to do is hit this critical mass, and it'll sell. So and Black Panther is probably one area where it will help.
Yep.
The next one is Spider-Man, which unfortunately is PlayStation only. However, it's Spider-Man. So, Spider-Man kind of a big deal.
Yes.
Um, okay, so that is the first kind of big news. The other news today, PlayStation bought Evo. Now we talk about Evo here because I love competitive fighting games. Evo was not held this last year. Number one, because they would have had to switch to an all digital event anyway. But the other piece is the founder, the original kind of person behind Evo, was caught up in some accusations that turned out to be legitimate about misbehavior. I'm not going to get into specifics because I don't know all of them. However, uh, this it was not a healthy thing to be in this person's hands anymore, and so now PlayStation has bought it, which is intense. Now they have said that they are going to keep it open to all platforms. This is really just part of their kind of esports, event strategy. But Nintendo has said that they're going to evaluate their participation moving forward, which means it is possible that Smash will not be at Evo, which would be super disappointing, I think. Hopefully, Nintendo does not reevaluate in a bad way. Because Smash really should be at the World Fighting Game Championships. It just should.
Yeah, it's so dumb that it's kind of petty. Like your competitor buys it. Oh, we're not participating.
Well, we don't know that they're not participating yet. They said they were going to evaluate it, which I think is the appropriate PR answer. I would have said the same thing also, because we don't know what Sony is doing. But, like, Sony could charge to have your game in there.
Yeah. So,
Like, who knows?
yeah.
But it is, so we'll find out. So that is the news today. I think we were going to see the spillover from that. I think we're going to see that between now and the summer, because it's probably going to be it's usually like a month before they start saying what games are going to be there. The good news about that is Sony has tons of money, so they should be able to help facilitate the online experience. The next thing, Jeff, what about that new TMNT game, man?
So typically I see the news and I don't usually watch the trailers because I'm like scrolling through Facebook in a place I don't want a loud noise, like I'm in the office at work or something.
Yep.
But it came on and I'm like, I gotta play this, and then it hit me right in the feels. That original TMNT theme song played,
Yep.
and I will say so I am not a beat 'em up person. I played a little bit of Streets of Rage 4 on Xbox, liked it. I played a little bit of Battletoads, I liked it, but I will buy this game and I will hopefully someone or it gets a physical release. As you know, I like my physical releases because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time is probably in my top 3 SNES games. It's on the list. It's in the brackets. Um,
Yep.
Top 3 SNES games of all time. I love that game. It is probably the first game I remember completing and beating. I remember
Okay.
my it's one of my earliest memories is I remember my parents coming home going, "Hey, we got you a new game. It's a new Ninja Turtles game." And I was a kid. I had Ninja Turtles everything. I had a stuffed Michelangelo toy. I had the Ninja Turtle slippers, pajamas. Um,
Okay.
this may be TMI, but I grew up potty training with Ninja Turtles underwear because they told me if I peed on the Ninja Turtles, they'd get mad at me.
I mean, did it work?
It worked. I am potty trained to this day.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's not
I,
even TMI, man. That's a good listen. You don't want to make the Ninja Turtles mad. You
no,
do not want
but
to
no,
make the Ninja Turtles
I
mad.
love the Ninja Turtles. Grew up on the '80s cartoon. I have all the 4 original, the 12, who I've got the movie set. I love the original movie, Secret of the Ooze, one of my favorite movies of all time. We don't talk about the third one.
Okay, you know what? Can we talk about let's talk about the third one very briefly. For what it was okay.
Well, so I think the thing is, you have the first one, which was very gritty for a movie targeted towards kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they swear in that movie. Well, Raphael swears.
Of course he does.
Yeah, they swear in
Because
that
he's
movie.
cool but rude. I mean,
He
that's
is
his thing.
cool but rude. Yes. And then you get the second one where they become more kid friendly, and it's funny they introduced Toka and Razor. I love the second movie; it's my favorite of the three. And then I think it just had too much expectations. But as you can see, I love the Ninja Turtles. I cannot wait for this game to come out. It was a complete surprise. No one saw it coming.
No, I had no idea this was coming. It is. I am very, very hyped for this. Very, very hyped for this. I am with you. I'm a little older, so Ninja Turtles was not like my absolute jam. However, I absolutely loved it. I had the original graphic novels. My parents let me read them way too early, and so which gave me a different view on all of them. So, so Mega Mom's saying that she has not seen the trailer. Well, I guess we're gonna fix that, everybody. I just assumed everybody watched that.
Well, while he's looking it up, I will say, fun fact about the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on the NES. If you look at the cover, they are all wearing red because even though they have the different colors in the game, the cover is based off the comic book which was in black and white, and they originally didn't have different colors to represent each turtle.
Yep.
So,
All right, so here we go. We're gonna go and we're gonna do some screen sharing, and I think. Let me turn the volume up. Are you getting any audio off this? No audio. Okay, so hold on. We got to fix that because. All right, so let's see. Audio output capture. All right, so I think you'll get this because it's what's coming out of my headphone. What should be coming to my headphones. So here we go. Yeah, you're definitely getting audio now.
I almost want to start singing, but no one wants to hear that.
Just look at this, Dad. Just look at it.
I mean, watching it, I feel like it's Saturday morning. It's 1991 Saturday morning. I'm sitting down to watch cartoons.
Look, man. So that's it. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. We don't have a release date yet. Um, we don't have a release date, but this is what it looks like if it hits correctly. Because we obviously don't know all the details, but if it hits correctly, this looks like a kind of TMNT 4 Turtles in Time, only new. And if that's all, like, even if it's just super derivative and that, I am all in. That looks great. Good four-player multiplayer, bananas action. So yes, I am very excited. Very, very, very excited for that. Excuse me. So that's it. We're gonna go to so Jeff. I know we were gonna talk about Mario stuff because last week was Mario week. or well, it's March 10th is Mario Day. What I'm gonna do is table that. Next week, we're gonna do, and I want everybody in the chat to be ready for this. We're gonna do our top 3 Super Mario Brothers games that we have played, and I add that caveat because I never played any of the Game Boy ones. So, but we're gonna do the top 3 Super Mario Brothers games we have played and our least favorite. So top 3, bottom 1. And so I'd love for everybody in the chat to bring that heat, and we're going to talk about that next week in honor of Mario Day 2 weeks late. And the main reason for that, and it just really comes down to, I want to just get right into March MadSNES. You know what I mean?
March MadSNES, it's time.
It is time for March MadSNES. So let me bring up the I don't want to add. I want to add a new source. I should have set this up for her earlier, but I had to put my daughter in bed. What are you going to do? Y'all will understand. So here we go. Whoa. I'm going to put this right in between us. So you're not going to be able to see our faces for a little bit, but I think everybody's better off not being able to see mine. So here we go. It is March MadSNES 2021.
Woo!
So, this is just the overall breakdown, and then I actually have better images that I can put up that go to each of the regions. So don't worry about like pinching and zooming, everybody. I got you covered. So, Jeff, you just like with March Madness last year, you did you went ahead and ranked. You seeded 64 SNES games.
Yes.
And so, tell us, how did you do this? Because last year you used game rankings and you used sales numbers and other things. How'd you do it for the SNES?
Yeah, for the SNES, I try to do sales ranking because I wanted it to be as, unbiased as possible.
Okay.
At least unbiased from the Engaged Family Gaming staff. And so I'm like, oh, we'll use how much the best-selling games. Well, I could only get a list of the top 50, which was not going to get me to 64.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, that's fine. Then I'll just come up with the last 14 games. They'll be my own, But then after digging into the top 50 games that I had listed, like a third of them were Japanese-only releases. So,
yeah,
like they weren't going to end up on the list. And then like Super Mario All-Stars was up there, which I vetoed Super Mario All-Stars and Tetris and Dr. Mario just because they are compilation games.
So I do. Hold on. Let me turn Jeff back up. Jeff, talk again.
Testing.
All right, I turned him up again. When I switched over the audio, to include the YouTube video, it turned him down because video streaming. So we did get a comment in the chat. Jevador saying that he's kind of sad I didn't ask him to do the seating. Ultimately, Jevador, that's gonna mess me up forever. Ultimately, Jevador, it came down to it's Jeff's job. And so he did it, and so I had him do that task. Number one, because he did it with the first one, and he's got to earn his keep around here. What with all the perks and all that stuff. So we gotta. That was a part of it. The other one is the whole tournament was his idea. You got to earn your pension. The other thing is the whole tournament was his idea, so I wanted to give him the opportunity to kind of do that stuff. You are right. I know of all the people on Earth, I trust your knowledge of the SNES. I know. Yeah. You are playing with power. The whole tournament was Jeff's idea, so I wanted him to have the opportunity to try and put this in here. And what you really did, Jeff, is you tried to be as non-biased as possible.
Yeah. So what I did,
and basically you took somebody else's rankings and then we used them for seeding.
Well, yeah, I took IGN's ranking, which I felt like IGN was a good one to go with. They are a pretty well-known media outlet. well, I guess depending on who you ask, are well respected. I guess I respect a lot of their because I listen to a lot of their podcasts and everything. But for the most part, they're a pretty well respected media outlet that I thought, these guys know what they're talking about. And the thing is, unlike like when I did the NES ranker, there was a lot of moving things around, but I thought
Yeah.
these games landed where in pretty good spots. I think the only thing, and I can't remember what game I added in instead, is Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball. I think I took that one out and added something else.
Yeah. So for the most part, you went and took those rankings and put those in for seeding. Um, I think that made a lot of sense. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. And this is a pretty great list. I mean, the reality is for me, most of my favorite SNES games were all JRPGs, and so and admittedly, that kind of how that works. Um, the excuse me.
And how I did it, I think it's the fairest way to do it just because so we aren't getting our own biasness, if that's even a
Yeah,
word, in there. I think it's good at our biases. That's what the word I'm looking for. I think it's good to not get those in there and to just have as straightforward of a list as we can without overthinking it or
yeah.
trying to make sure our game has a really good chance of getting to the end. I thought it was more fun to kind of randomize it as much as possible.
Absolutely. So here we are. Let me. So this is the bracket as a whole. The rules are going to be pretty straightforward for everybody that's watching. 64 tournament. The decisions are all going to be done by 24-hour polls on and they're actually going to be done on Twitter. So if you don't have a Twitter yet, now is the time to do so. Go ahead and create one. They are free. You can make a throwaway one if you want. I will not be mad. Just please throw a like on the Engaged Family Gaming Twitter account
And Pokemon
while you are
Snapshot.
there.
And
And of course, the Pokemon
fun.
Snapshot
Fun.
if you are while you are there. Um, and then we're just gonna go right down the list. We're starting in Region X, which we will show in a moment in its own separate image, and we're just going to go through the first round, then we will take a day off, and then we will move to the round of 32, then the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, the Final Four, etc. And then we will have a championship game, which I believe I'm going to leave that poll up for 2 or 3 days to let people really, really get into it. Because I am very interested to see what that is, because it could be something crazy, like Final Fantasy VI versus Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Like this is going to be like the most brutal there's just gonna be this is gonna be nuts. So I'm very much hoping to see some stuff. So I'm gonna close this image, and then I don't want to close Jeff. I want to close.
And just so you remember, last year during March Madness, Super Mario Brothers 3 was our winner.
Yep.
I
So
couldn't remember if it was that or Legend of Zelda, but it was Super Mario Brothers 3. Actually, our final was Super Mario Brothers 3 versus Mega Man 5.
yep. So I'm zooming in right now. So the first region, we're just doing a preview. This is our bracketology. Going through. Um, the first matchup is kind of a throwaway, right? Like I am not certain that the Fatal Fury 2 community is going to be able to come out and get Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past down. I think Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is going to go through. Although, if you look at our Twitter feed right now, because our Twitter feed, I'm looking at because the first two matchups are done, and that's Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Fatal Fury 2, and then Mega Man X2 and Sim City. And let's see where we're at, because um, we definitely have seen some activity. So with 11 votes, so there's 16 votes on the first one right now. It's only been up for about an hour and a half. Uh, So there's 16 votes, and it's 94% The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past versus 6% for Fatal Fury 2. There are no abstentions on this. And Mega Man X2 right now there's 11 votes, and the let's see here. There's 11 votes, and it is 64% Sim City over Mega Man X2. So Jeff, or not Jeff, Jevador. Wow, I don't know why I'm screwing that up today. Jevador, you better rally the troops, because Mega Man X2 might go early. Turns out, I was looking at this, all 3 Mega Man X games that were on the SNES are on this bracket. So Jevador's got to keep one of them in there for as long as possible. I wonder which is the first one to fall, and right now it could be Mega Man X2. So today we've got those 2 brackets. Tomorrow we'll do it's going to be Super Punch Out versus Kirby Superstar, and then Earthbound versus Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
So Super Punch Out, Kirby Superstar, that could go either way.
Yeah, I know. This is now we're getting to the ones that are kind of a toss up. Super Punch Out is great, but Kirby Superstar, I mean, there are some Kirby fans out there, and so I think that is pretty. I think that's going to be a fun one to watch. I have no prediction there. Jevador in the comments saying, as it should be, X2 is the weakest. He's okay with X2 being culled. Well, there we go. If SimCity beats it, if it's the weakest out of the X's, is it still better than SimCity though? That's a good question. SimCity on SNES was pretty great.
It was kind of the game that made the building sim what it is today.
Well, we know Waffle Chicken, my son Jake, is arguably the biggest Kirby fan on Earth. He loves him some Kirby, so he is voting for Kirby Superstar.
His opinion doesn't matter. He doesn't know what Mighty Ducks is.
I mean, you know what? His opinion. What really happens is his opinion doesn't matter, because he doesn't have a Twitter account, and I'm not giving him one. So there's that. So below that, and that's tomorrow's. And so the day after, it'll be Mario Paint versus Breath of Fire. This is another one that I think is going to make a. This is really going to depend on whether or not the novelty of Mario Paint and that mouse and like the music specifically.
The Fly Swatter game.
The Fly Swatter game, is that going to beat out Breath of Fire? That one could be. That could be anybody's game. If I were to make a prediction, I would say that I think Mario Paint, because I think people like later Breath of Fires better. It's kind of like, name recognition. Breath of Fire is loved, but it's up against Mario Paint, which everybody remembers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And still has like a modern footprint because we still see new songs done in Mario Paint because of emulators and such. So, like, whereas Breath of Fire, there are other Breath of Fire games that people think of more fondly. So I think that's kind of a piece there. The day after that is Star Fox versus Axelay. Megamom, you never played Mario Paint. Okay, so Mario Paint, I mean, it uses the SNES mouse. It was my first experience with a mouse, because at that time I didn't have a computer with a mouse. So it was my first experience with a computer mouse and like clicking and things like that. I have very fond memories of it. I honestly don't know what Axelay is. Should I know what Axelay is?
I didn't think about this, but my SNES encyclopedia is upstairs right now, so I do not have it. Unless you want to give me 2 minutes to run and get it.
I'll vamp for a minute. Could you go get it? Because I think we're going to need this.
I left it upstairs. Let me go grab it.
Yeah, you go grab it.
I don't know if it's still, but it was $4.99 on Amazon the other day.
All right. That was the Kindle version, right? I think it was the Kindle version. So I'm going to keep going. So next is Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and then TMNT 4 Turtles in Time. Wow. So realistically, there's no. I believe strongly that TMNT 4 Turtles in Time is the dark horse, and I think that it is possible that TMNT 4 Turtles in Time could be like that Cinderella team that was a low seed that could carry itself through, because the hype for the new game, and man, that was just, I love that game so much. Oh man, I love TMNT 4 Turtles in Time. And So Jeff, I just bumped down to the next one in the bracket. Super Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. I am thinking TMNT 4 Turtles in Time is going to
Oh, it
take it.
better go through.
And honestly, I think of the team of the non-obvious picks, right? Because the top two seeds are Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Super Mario World. But I really think the two that I think will get some surprise support are TMNT 4 Turtles in Time, and then the next one, which is NHL 94.
Okay, so this is why you've never heard of Axelay.
Okay.
It was a Konami game released in '92.
Okay.
It never came out in the United States. So,
Oh, that'll explain it.
yes, it says the Armada of Annihilation is invading, working its way through the various planets in the Illis solar system. All that remains between the invaders and total destruction is the Axelay, a small stratofighter armed to the teeth. This
Sure. Okay.
It's a Konami shoot 'em up. And a fun fact: if you beat the game 3 times in a row, you'll get a message saying "See you again at Axelay 2." A sequel was never released.
Man, that's brutal. That's
Yeah,
brutal. All
you
right, so
should never say "See you again" in the sequel unless you know there's actually going to be a sequel.
yeah, but you never know there's going to be a sequel. So all right,
Yeah,
so that's region X. So we're going to do this region first. And then next,
I mean, and I assume you just said Super Mario World is easily going to be NHL '94.
I think so, but you know what? I am actually NHL 94 is going to get a surprising amount of support, I think. So next is region B. Oh, this is well, you know what? We're doing the lower right because that's the image that I got. What are you gonna do? What are we gonna do, guys?
So which one are we doing? Lower right?
We're doing lower right because that's what came up next. So coming out of the bottom right of that, so number one seed there is Final Fantasy III, otherwise known as Final Fantasy VI versus the Lion King. I think
Now,
this
if
is
you Yeah, this is easily Final Fantasy VI, but if we were going with hardest games, I think Lion King would take it.
yeah, that's probably true. Final Fantasy VI is actually one of my picks to for the win, just based on the amount of support that it gets, based on the audience on Twitter that follows us.
Yeah, I think it's good. I will say I still have nightmares from the Lion King. Let's just wait to be King playing those stupid giraffes, the stupid monkeys, you know.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to crush the Lion King. Next is Lufia 2 versus Kirby's Dream Course. Kirby's Dream Course is a mini golf game, and it's up against Lufia 2. I think this is kind of. It really depends on whether or not that group of Lufia 2 fans on the internet find this. Kirby is the recognizable name, but it's a
Yeah.
mini golf game, so it's interesting. I think Kirby's Dream Course is probably going to pull this one out. Even though I think Lufia 2 is great. Although I would feel bad for Lufia 2 pulling out the victory against Kirby's Dream Course only to get absolutely demolished.
Final Fantasy.
Like just absolutely demolished by Final Fantasy VI. The reality is, as I look through this list, I really don't think there is any game on this side of the bracket that's going to beat Final Fantasy VI. This is easily my pick for the final four out of this bracket. Next is Super Castlevania 4 versus Yoshi's Cookie.
I mean, that's
Uh,
an easy for Super Castlevania 4, I assume.
you know, Yoshi's Cookie is. I mean, yeah, you're right. I think Super
How
Castlevania
I'm
4.
gonna look it up. How did Yoshi's Cookie do? And because I'm pretty sure it was in last year's bracket too, because there is an NES version.
Why don't you look that up while we go, if you can?
Yeah.
Next is Donkey Kong Country 2 versus Bust a Move. Um, I don't
So
remember it was how
Yoshi's
to do.
Cookie wasn't in it. Yoshi was. So Yoshi's Cookie didn't make it in.
Yeah. So, Donkey Kong Country 2 versus Bust a Move. I am kind of all in on Bust a Move for this one
Donkey
because I
Kong
love
Country
that game.
2 is the best of the trilogy.
Yeah, but I don't like Donkey Kong Country games. So,
Blasphemy.
listen, they're just not my jam, man. I mean, if I want to platform, I'm gonna platform like with good platforming.
See, I don't like Bust a Move because it took a game with great platforming and made it into a puzzle franchise. I love Bubble Bobble. It is my timer on my phone.
That's fair, but yeah, I like Bust a Move. Um, this is anyone's game. Listen. I love. I'm sure. I know Donkey Kong Country has a big fan base. Donkey Kong Country is just. It's not my jam. It's just not my jam. Um, but I appreciate the way they look and the way people love them. It's just not my thing. Next is Mortal Kombat 2 versus Harvest Moon. Man, is this one going to be? It just depends on who loves this. Harvest Moon on the SNES is a very well loved video game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never played that one personally. I did play a lot of Mortal Kombat 2. Probably shouldn't have if I think about how old I was, but I did.
I mean, the Mortal Kombat game, I'm pretty sure the Mortal Kombat games from the SNES era would be rated T now if they came out.
Well, yeah, they were rated M back then, and I believe Mortal Kombat 2 brought the brought the blood back.
Yeah. Um, so next is Mega Man X versus Donkey Kong Country 3. My favorite of these two is Mega Man X. I would like to see Mega Man X just take Donkey Kong Country 3
I think
right out.
Donkey Kong Country 3 is not great.
And on the opposite, Mega Man X is great.
Yes.
I remember renting Mega Man X and just being absolutely astonished. And I could still listen to that soundtrack. Like I know now that I'm gonna make a note to go look up the soundtrack on Spotify because I'm pretty sure it's there. Because just like some of the soundtrack is just absolutely bananas. I mean, Nintendo Power. I mean, it jumped the shark then. Um, like it was a marketing arm. Like, it was it was basically like one of those flyers from Walmart. Like it was great, but like it was part of the marketing department for Nintendo. So okay. So let's see here. And so next we have the Lost Vikings versus EVO, the Search for Eden. Now EVO Search for Eden
Is an interesting game.
Is an interesting game, but I don't. This is another one where it could go either way. I don't think we're going to get a lot of votes on this one, and either way, I think it's going to get beat by whatever the next game is. My favorite of these two is the Lost Vikings. I love that puzzle game. The fact that you can buy it again is really cool. I wish they would make a new one, but so the Lost. So I'm going to vote for the Lost Vikings. That's going to be my pick.
Yeah, that's probably going to be my vote too. But for those of you who don't know, EVO or Evo, I think it's just Evo, Search for Eden. You start out as like a single cell organism and you just evolve your creature. Like you grow legs, you become a faster swimmer, and it's just a platformer that you do that with.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that is another one. So let me go ahead and add the others. I know it's getting late.
Yeah, and then we had Super Mario Kart and Kirby's Dream Land 3, which may be the closest number 2 versus 15 seed round.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, so getting into Region Y is Chrono Trigger versus International Superstar Soccer. Oh, International Superstar Soccer. We hardly knew ye. Chrono Trigger is going to beat the crap out of you. So there's not much to say. Chrono Trigger is regarded as one of the best video games ever made. It's just going to absolutely destroy. And honestly, I'm going to be real. I really don't see much coming out of here to beat Chrono Trigger. But this is going to be wild. Next is the Legend of Mystical Ninja versus NBA Jam. Now this one is this one's going to be tight. Because Legend of Mystical Ninja is fun and is well loved and is a cute little platformer, but NBA Jam is NBA Jam, and I remember playing that like a madman back in the day. Oh goodness. So I'm actually gonna vote for NBA Jam, but I can understand why some people might love the Legend of Mystical Ninja. Next is F-Zero versus Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Zombies Ate My Neighbors for president. I love that game.
Yeah, and I honestly think it's better than F-Zero. I mean, F-Zero X is where it's at, so.
Yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbors is just gonna get beat up by Final Fantasy IV, which we'll talk about in the next one. But Zombies Ate My Neighbors is such a good game. I am stunned that they have not made. I know there was like a spiritual successor that's on Kickstarter, or that was on Kickstarter, but I am stunned that they have not put Zombies Ate My Neighbors on like, if they put that on Switch Online, that feels like something that would be really great. Um, Next is Final Fantasy 2 or 4, as it is known now, versus Mega Man X3. This one is going to be close because I know the Mega Man community is going to be all over this. My personal pick is Final Fantasy 4 because it is. I absolutely love this game. It was my first real role playing game. But I think this one's a toss up. Where are you going to put your vote, Jeff?
That's a hard one, but I enjoy Final Fantasy games more than Mega Man games, so it's probably going to go to 4.
All right, so be careful when you talk about when you besmirch Mega Man games. Javador is in our chat. Um, Next is the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse versus Demon's Crest. I think this is the weirdest vote in this particular corner of the bracket, and I have no idea what it's going to do. If I had to pick one, it's going to be the Magical Quest, just because
Yep.
I like the Mickey games. But Demon's Crest is also well loved. And let's see here. Next is Super Mario RPG versus Alien 3. I'm going to go with the Super Mario RPG because I don't remember liking the Alien video game adaptations.
Which is weird because everyone I've heard loves the Alien 3, at least the Alien 3 adaptation. That's why it's on this list, obviously. But yeah, Sojourner Weaver cannot beat out Princess Peach.
Yeah, pretty much. Next is Donkey Kong Country versus Earthworm Jim 2. In this case, I will vote for Donkey Kong Country.
Not an Earthworm Jim fan.
No, I am not. I am not. And it turns out the creator is somewhat problematic also, but that's not the only reason. It's also that I really like Donkey Kong Country more. Um, and lastly, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo versus Aladdin. Now, it is worth mentioning, and this is probably going to stir up some controversy when this comes up, the SNES version of Aladdin is not the same thing as the Genesis version of Aladdin, which is the definitive version, and I recognize that I have actually played it since. So, this was made by the same guy who made Resident Evil. um, let's see here. All right, so Jevador coming in with a comment says Final Fantasy 4, 6, Super Metroid, and Chrono Trigger are allowed to be better than the Mega Man X games. You might not agree, but they are acceptable opinions. Um, so Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, it has to go above Aladdin for me. I mean, it's the higher seed, whatever, but Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo is an amazing fighting game, and this is not the good version of Aladdin. If it was so.
So, I, on the other hand, might have to throw Aladdin at least a pity vote or get some rally behind it because you may not have enjoyed it, but
I didn't say I didn't like it. It's just not the definitive edition.
so I didn't have a Genesis growing up, and I remember we would play Aladdin. The neighbor kids would come over, and we had a piece of paper where we would mark down the passcode to get to save our levels. And all together, we beat that game. So I just have a lot of nostalgia with Aladdin.
That's fair. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. What about you in the chat? Super Street Fighter 2 or Aladdin? Where are you guys going to come from? So let me bring up the last one, and we will be getting ready to close up shop because we are a little bit over. Sorry for keeping you awake. Wow. All right. So Mega Mom saying Aladdin all the way. Maybe it'll be an upset. All right. So we got 2 votes. It's everybody's running wild here, so we're a little split. So now we got to do Region A. So this is the top right on the big bracket. Whoa, made it too big. So we got Super Metroid over R-Type 3. Super Metroid is the correct decision here.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will disagree with that. R-Type is a great game. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love those arcade side-scrolling shoot 'em ups. Like, I love those kind of games. But it is not the same as Super Metroid. So that's my pick there. I think that's going to be just kind of a walk-off for Super Metroid. They basically get a bye. Next is Metal Warriors versus UN Squadron. I think this is another one where we are very likely not going to get a lot of votes on this one, so it could go either way. UN Squadron is a shooter, like it's a shmup, so I like that. That's going to be my pick. What about you, Jeff? Do you have any
I
recollection of
have
either of these?
no, I have no opinion whatsoever.
Okay,
I
I mean, like, you know, it's. I'm just going with the shmup on this one. Next
Isn't
is,
Metal Warriors the predecessor to Metal Slug?
I think so, yes.
Okay, so
So,
I'll probably go with that one because I at least know something of that one.
next is Actracer versus Super Bomberman. Um, this is
That
an
could go
interesting
either
one.
way.
This could go either way. I really love Actraiser. It was a very interesting idea, and I'm very surprised that no one has done it again, like good. There was another Actraiser game that was done very poorly in the last couple of years. I really wish like Nintendo would like pick this one back up and do it. Um, the game that I think is the most similar to it now is Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, which is kind of a side-scrolling anime action game where you farm rice in between. I think that's probably the most
Yep.
ActRaiser there is. Um, so I'm actually I think ActRaiser is going to pull away just because people have really fond memories of it, even though it wasn't like the best game. It was just really interesting. Next is Tetris Attack versus Breath of Fire 2, the only Tetris game on this list. Tetris went very far in the NES tournament last year, so this is the only Tetris game on here. And
Well,
it really, go ahead.
the funny thing is, it's the only Tetris game on here, and it's not even a Tetris game. It is paneled upon.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Well,
it's
and then when you're looking at the SNES, the only Tetris games were Tetris and Dr. Mario, which I took out because it was a compilation. I thought that was unfair. And Tetris 2, which was universally hated.
yeah. So it's a Tetris branded game. That's the thing, though. A lot of people might see the Tetris Attack and forget that this is Pokemon Puzzle League basically. So right? Because that's what it is. It was
Yeah, it's like Pokemon Puzzle League. Paneled upon is what it's called. I don't think there was any games before Tetris Attack. It's just they didn't think it would be successful, so they added Mario characters to it.
so. I mean, I can't argue with that. So that'll be interesting. I think that. I think the Breath of Fire community is going to come out for this one. Next one, the Battle of the Threes, Contra 3 versus Gradius 3. Man, here's the thing. I still see people talk about Contra 3 on Twitter every once in a while. Like I follow a lot of retro gamers, and I still see people talk about Contra 3. I don't hear anyone say anything about Gradius 3.
No, I think Contra 3 has that one.
Next up, Secret of Mana versus Earthworm Jim. We've already talked about how I am not a very big Earthworm Jim
Secret of
fan.
Mana all the way.
Yeah, my
Love that game.
dream is one day to play. I have always wanted to play a three-player Secret of Mana game and just go from the beginning to the end. Um, and I just haven't been able to do it. So that's like
And you
one of my.
can't
It's like my.
with the remake. You can with the Switch.
I just have to do it. You
Yeah,
understand? That's
I
the
did
trick.
in college. Um, we did Secret of Mana. My roommate and I, who one of my best friends now, we played a two-player game. And the sad thing is, once you get to the final boss, if you're not playing the main character, you do nothing to the final boss.
All right. Well, that's troubling. Um, we should do that once the apocalypse is over. Um, yeah, the three of us should play, and I'll bring my capture card, and we'll record the whole thing and put it up on YouTube. We'll do that. That would be great. Um, and I'll bring my oldest, and we can rotate through the three of us. We'll just rotate through. Um, that actually would be pretty awesome. Putting that up on the YouTubes. Next is so I'm voting Secret of Mana over Earthworm Jim. Wario's Woods versus Ogre Battle. Gosh, do I love Ogre Battle. But it's really just this is another one that's kind of a toss up.
Yeah,
What do you
Wario.
have a pick on this one?
I do not, but just I am a very big on statistics guy. Woods was in our last tournament because there
Yep.
is an NES version, and it did lose to Mega Man 3 in the first round.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I think Ogre Battle is a better matchup for Wario's Woods than Mega Man, just because Mega Man is so well loved. But we'll see. And the last one, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island versus Joe and Mac 2 Lost to the Tropics.
The
A
battle of
battle of sequels.
battle of prehistoric sequels because they both
Yep.
kind of take place with dinosaurs.
And Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island is going to absolutely kick the
Yeah,
crap out of Joe and Mac. I'm sorry, Joe and Mac. We hardly knew ye. So this is
should
this
have
is a
changed your name
preview of
to
the first
Mario
round.
and Luigi, and you'd have a chance.
Yeah, exactly. So, man, could you imagine? So I would love to see a caveman themed Mario and Luigi game, like where they're caveman Mario and Luigi. I'd watch that / play that. Who am I kidding? I would play it regardless. So this is just the round of 64. So we will every week on the EFG show we'll close out with a breakdown of where we are in the tournament. I will be updating this on the regular. I would encourage everybody, like I said, make a Twitter account, head on over to the EF Gaming Twitter account, vote on the two polls that are there now, and follow and just pop on once a day. And as long as you pop on once a day regularly around the same time, you will never miss a poll. And you can get in there. We're going to be doing this for the rest of this month and probably most of April. This is a long thing because we do 64 games. I think next year we might be dropping it to 32 just to save Jeff the trouble. Also, we probably have to do March next Nintendo 64 next, I think, and there aren't that many good Nintendo 64 games. So
64 would be almost like a third of their library.
yeah, I know we'd have to figure it out. So everybody, thank you very much for.
Hold on, I just had to stop. We cannot cut it down to 32 if the next one we're doing is Nintendo 64.
But are there 64 good games on the
We'll
Nintendo
figure it
64?
out, but you
Yeah, we'll,
cannot not do 64 if we're doing the Nintendo 64.
yeah, we'll figure it out, everybody.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some crazy matchups on there, guys. All right, so but he's
There's
probably right. He's probably
One-sided,
right.
one-sided ones for sure.
All right, maybe there are, and I'm just not thinking about it. Like I've got SNES on the brain right now, so um, held a message for reason identity. What? I'm gonna allow that because I have no idea why I tried to hold that. Okay, so we can do N64 games. All right, cool. So then maybe we can. I'm just not thinking about it because I got SNES on the brain since we've been working on this for the last couple of weeks. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in and watching another episode of the EFG show. I do have one announcement for the people that stuck around to the end. I was supposed to make this announcement up front, but I didn't. So, how about this? Starting within the next 2 weeks, because I don't know if we're going to do it on Tuesday. I'm not sure. Starting in the next 2 weeks, we have another show coming to the Engage Family Gaming Twitter channel, Twitch channel. Basically, starting now, all of our podcast content will be recorded live on this Twitch channel. So, for those folks that want another dose of Engage Family Gaming shenanigans, you will be able to listen to the Mothership podcast as we record it live on this channel Tuesdays between we go live around 7:30, and you'll be able to also watch those videos on our YouTube channel on demand or listen to them on podcast services. So this is new. And then over the summer, we will likely be doing some other cool podcast projects because why not? So that is our big announcement for the end of the show that starting very soon, you'll be able to watch the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast recorded live with myself, Amanda Farah, the Princess of Power, and Linda Roble, the Mistress of Magnificence, otherwise known as Mom, as we alternate between video games and board games. So Jeff, you're the pioneer on EFG. We did, you and I, we started the live stream thing. You and I, we did this, but we're bringing it to the rest of our content.
Yep,
Um,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. How about this one? This is a show that you can just watch. You don't actually have to work. How crazy is that?
I know.
I mean, it's pretty exciting. You don't have to work for that one. So, everybody, hope you have a great night. We will see you next week for another episode of the EFG Show. Until then, don't forget
To get your family game on.
We'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.